All right, call Halam La Yahweh, Bashim Yahawashi, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashim Yahawashi, Yahweh Kakadash, Yahweh being who people call God, Yahawashi being who people call Jesus. Double honors to the apostles, our apostles over the Great Millstone Church, and salutations as well to the elder bishops, on to the rest of the elders and Akim, also of the branches, also hold forth the true word and all truth, faith, and sincerity. So getting into this, your brother Shariah coming back with another lesson. In this lesson, I'm just go over this precept that's found in Sirach, also known as the Book of Ecclesiasticus, in the 4th chapter, in the 22nd verse, and it says, "Except no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall." So let's read it again. "Accept no person against thy soul, and let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall." So pretty much I want to deal with this in the aspect of, you know, you, like how the scriptures basically say, you know, you know those that labor, that do the work, and you esteem them very, very highly. But you don't want to think. But the scriptures also tell you, you want to think too highly of yourself, you know. And if that goes for you, you also will apply that to others. All right, because that's how a respected person can come in, to where you'll find yourself doing things or reverencing this person to the point where you will fall. Because, for example, it's the meditation I had. You will be learning from brothers, or acknowledge or esteem a fellow servant in this truth, very highly, and because of that, with you being simple, or through that reverence, you can end up pretty much not acknowledging the things they do that's off, like how scriptures, like first, how the scriptures tell you, you know, how men we supposed to be examples one to another. All right, and then you got that with the, with Paul. Paul said, "Be ye followers also of me." You know what I'm saying? Scriptures tell you also what, if you see a man of understanding, get thee to him betimes. All right. So you learn from them, and you follow. You follow them on their demonstration, because they demonstrating, and when they're demonstrating to you the things of the scriptures, they're demonstrating you things, they're demonstrating the works of the scriptures. All right, what it means to be on point out here, address things as they should be. But so in its reverence there. So that's how you have that. But it shouldn't be to the point to where you're doing those things, but you also taking, right, with that following of them, with that doing as they're doing, because they're doing what's right, they're saying what's right, they're saying it how it's supposed to be said. You also do the things, or you do the things that you aren't to be doing or saying. You know what I'm saying? Because you reverence them so high, above measure, to where you don't acknowledge things that may be off. Almost as if they can't do anything off. And that's why it says, let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall. So like I said, that's just pretty much what I want to touch on. So I'm going to just get these scriptures, because that's pretty much the point. This is 1 Corinthians 11, And I'm going to start at 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of a Mashiach. So we follow what Yahawashi does, says, how he moves, right? But we do it sensibly with understanding and expediently. Because there's certain things Yahawashi did, not that they were off, but that are above most of our pay grades. A lot of things. To where if we do it, it'll cause us to fall. You see that? So though it may be right, as far as the things he did, and you want to demonstrate them, you will be over righteous if you try to do all the things he did. You see that? So where all things are lawful, you still gotta understand all things might not be expedient. So be ye followers of me, even as I also am of a Mashiach. So since I say that, let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, Salakia, 7 and verse 16. Yeah, be not right. See that? Be not. This is a precepts, command. Be not righteous over much. See that? Neither make thyself overwise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Exactly. How I was able to do it, he did that. That don't mean that don't mean it makes sense for you to do it. It may have been right, like he got on the cross and physically died for everybody, but that cross, those burdens that he had to take on wasn't given to everybody. All right, and he let us know that. When you go to the book of Matthew 11, I'm gonna start at the 28th verse. It says, "Come unto me." See that? I'm gonna start at 27. All things are delivered unto me of my Father, and no man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. It says what? Come unto me. He went on to say what? Come unto me. So all those things were given to you. There's certain things Yahawashi not gonna give you because you can't bear them now. I believe that's in the book of Matthew, real quick, 16. And that's a good scripture. I'm gonna come back to this. But Matthew 16 and where is that? John. Let me see. It's a good script, a good chapter. But anyway, let's go to John. I want to say that's the 16th chapter. And yep, this is John 16 and 12. It says, I have yet many things to say unto you, but ye cannot bear them now. So he didn't say them to you. All right. Going back to Matthew and 11:10, like, yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's stuff that, again, it's right, but it'd be over righteous if he told you this. He'd be right. It'll be right for him to tell us. There's many things he got to tell us, so it'll be right, obviously, right? But it wouldn't be right if it would be out of season. If it would be at a time before, it could be buried. This is Matthew 11, and jumping back to the point. So that's how Yahawashi moves, how he thinks. Verse 28: Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. See that? Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Yeah, what he gonna give you? All things that was put on him is not gonna be given to you. It tell you that it wasn't given to you. All right. That's why it says in Isaiah the 9th chapter, what? Verse 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. So the whole world is on the shoulders of Yahawashi. Was put on the in way more aspects than it is in way more aspects than it is of ours. Of us. Way more ways than it was on his shoulder. In all ways, it was on his shoulder than the ways that the whole world may be on our shoulders as believers and followers. Teachers, prophets, believers. Sons, daughters. Fighting for the faith. Hoping to be the first fruits. Of the Israelites that manifest the kingdom. Because we know a lot of casualties, meaning Jake's gonna be had throughout the process of this plan. Now they ain't gonna get. We gotta carry this light and hold on to it and endure. Because most done, through the spirit, if you will, spiritually done gave up the ghost, but they still walking around. They done threw the fight in, man. You know what I'm saying? They salt. They the salt that's lost its savior. All right. So it ain't good for nothing. All right, so we can't lose that savor. So we got a burden, but compared to Yahawashi's light, because all things is given unto him. So Isaiah 9:6 continue. It says, "And his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." All right, so that's that. So going back to Matthew. Let's go to the 16th. Matthew in the 16th chapter really quick. All right. And we're going to jump down to verse 24. It says, let's start at 23 so I can get back to the point. It says, "But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee hence, get thee behind me, Satan. Right? Thou art an offense unto me, right? For thou savorest not the things that be of God, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, but those that be of men." Right? You don't want to be like that. You want to be a dang, see? And that's heavy because Peter had a moment of, he just had a moment of letting his reverence for Yahawashi basically put him in position to where he was going off and about to fall. Why? Because this is Matthew 16. I'm going to start at 20. Then he charged his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Yahawashi, the Hamashiach, the anointed. Right? From that time forth began Yahawashi to shew unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders. See, let me read it again. For from that time forth began Yahawashi to shew unto his disciples how that he must go. See, that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and the chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and be raised again the third day. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan. He called Peter Satan. See that? Peter was going off. It says, Thou art an offense unto me. Right? You letting your reverence for me cause you to go off, but I ain't finna do that. I'm gonna set an example. I'm not gonna let my reverence for you, because you was just revealed to be, the rock of the church. Make me fall. This gotta play out. So yeah, you this, but I can't do that. So that's how you do that. See that? It says, but for thou savest not the things that be of Yahweh, but those that be of men. Then said Yahawashi unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself. See that? And take up his cross and follow me. Exactly. So you gotta keep it about what it's about. You gotta keep the main thing the main thing. Like, yeah, you got brothers, sisters that you reverence. You know what I'm saying? You reverence your family, if you will. You know what I'm saying? In the way you ought to. A woman, they reverence your husband. But see, you got a great example with that. Abgail didn't reverence her husband to the point she fell. That nigga was going off, right? Evil as hell, going against the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And though she was to still keep her reverence, she didn't allow it for her husband. She didn't allow her that reverence to allow her to fall. So when he was doing the bugged out stuff, he was doing. What did she do? She went and baked cakes to appease the wrath of the men the Lord had set up, and that was to start with David. You know, these are holy men, these are angels, and he like fuck them. I don't care what they talk about, and it's clear. Okay, these those men. Okay, and she see it too, but then because she reverence her husband, she gonna be like, you know what, fuck him too. You know, that's going off. So instead, she didn't handle it like that. She went and tried to appease the wrath of the Lord by baking the cakes and things like that. You see that? It said, what was it, pacify it? Let me see that. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, right here. Proverbs 21:14. It says, I'm going to actually start. I'm going to get this in Ecclesiastes 10:4. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place. See that? For yielding pacified great offenses. So that's what she did. This is because the ruler at the time, that was David, man. And he was a man of war. He wasn't like Solomon. Solomon was during the time of peace. David was putting people to death. All right, it was set up of the Lord. It says a gift. This is Proverbs 21:14. A gift in secret pacify anger, and a reward in the bosom strong wrath. See that? And that's ultimately to the Lord. It wasn't to David. She didn't do that because of David. She did that because it was of the Lord. She kept it about what it was about. She wasn't savoring, oh, this David. She wasn't making it about that. This is David, the Lord's anointed. Remember the scripture say, touch not my prophets, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. But that's what that dude Nabal was on. You know what I'm saying? I believe his name was. Yeah, his name was, I spelled it wrong. So, since I'm on that point, let's just go here real quick. Let's go to 1 Samuel 25. And I can start wrapping this up. This is 1 Samuel 25, and let's start at 1. And Samuel died, and all the Israelites were gathered together and lamented him, and buried him in his house at Ramah. And David arose and went down to the wilderness of Paran. I remember, Samuel was a great man, so that's the reverence being had right there. But again, we're not supposed to have reverence to the point to where, they call somebody to fall, like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't keep goddamn hoard Samuel's body. You know what I'm saying? Like great man, we lamented him. Because that'd be unclean. That'd be going off. So that'd be examples of that, man. He's just the Lord's anointed. I'm gonna keep his hand. I'm gonna keep his foot. You tripping. It says verse 2, and there was a man in Maon whose progressions were great, were in Carmel. It says, and the man was very great, and and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats, and he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, right? And the name of his wife Abgail, and she was a woman of good understanding. Can't make it up. See that? She wasn't just a woman. She wasn't just a good woman. She was really, you're only a good woman if you got understanding. But she was a woman of good understanding. See that? And of a beautiful countenance. She had both. But the man was churlish. And evil in his doings. But though he like that, in the other aspect of him, he great. He's somebody to be a reverence. Because he's a rich man. The scriptures tell you, when a rich man opens his mouth, people esteem what he say to the clouds, and that's going off. Because once he start, what if that rich man wicked like this dude, churlish? See that? As a matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna pull this up in a blue letter. All right, he was a wealthy man. All right. So let's get that. You don't get no clearer than what it says in the KJV. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings. See that? So this dude's wicked. All right. It says, and he was of the house of Caleb. See that? It says, and David heard in the wilderness. That's all spiritual. As a matter of fact, let me go here. Kalab, yeah. Caleb, that go back to Kalab, which means dog, hence like faithful. All right. But, and I believe Caleb, he had a particular covenant with the Lord, agreement through the Lord, but roughly speaking on it. But my point of that is that didn't get this man bypassed for the crap he was doing, though he was connected to a person like that. See that? What's off is what's off, and that's what we keep it about. So, and David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. All right. So it says, and David sent out 10 young men, and David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel and go to Nabal and greet him in my name. See that? Spiritual. His name is ought to be, them greeting him in the name of David is greeting him in the name of the Lord. Because what David is attached to, his reputation, who he's anointed. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity. See that? Peace be to thee. Peace be both to thee. So David is reverencing him. It says, and peace be to thy house, and peace be to unto all that thou hast. See that thou hast. This is the NLT. Peace and prosperity to you, your family, and everything you own. Back in the KJV. I'm gonna read on. It says in the NLT, I am told that it is sheep shearing time. While your shepherd stayed among us near Carmel, we never harmed them, and nothing was ever stolen from them. Ask your own men, and they will tell you this is true. So will you be kind to us, since we have come at a time of celebration? Please share any provisions you might have on hand with us and with your friend David. All right. So he reverencing him. All right. This is what the message is they supposed to get at him. So that David done talking back in the KJV. And when David's young man came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David, and they ceased. And we read it in the KJV in that previous verse is even heavier, because look at the level he put them on. It says, ask thy young man, and they will shew thee. Wherefore let the young man find favor in thy sight, in thy eyes. For we come in a good day. I pray thee, right, whatsoever cometh to thy hand unto thy servants, and to thy son David. See that? See, like, he put him above him. He said, to thy son David. He put Nabal over him, right? It says, and Nabal answered David's servant and said, who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master. See that? So he knew exactly who David was. He's talking crap, referring how what happened between Saul and David. See that? This nigga evil. It says in the NLT, who is this fellow David? Nabal sneered to the young man. Who does this son of Jesse think he is? These are lots. There are lots of servants these days who run away from their masters. Crazy. This is in the so here you know what I'm saying? He like, nigga, you was good. You know? You out here biting the hand that feeds you, nigga. You know? Crazy. So he didn't acknowledge nothing. You know, so it shows, you know, you are to carry yourself with the sense of understanding where reverence should be had at, not reverencing everybody, but that, you know, is a place and time and season for reverence. It's to certain individuals, which is nothing more than, you know, acknowledgement and respect and, you know, putting them on the level they on. He didn't do that at all. It says, shall I then take my bread and my water, back in the KJV, and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers, and give it unto men whom I know not whence they be? So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those things. And David said unto his men, gird ye every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword. And David also girded on his sword. And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abgail, Nabal's wife, saying, behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master, and he railed on them. All right? This in the NLT. Meanwhile, one of Nabal's servants went to Abgail and told her, David sent messengers from the wilderness to greet our master, talking about Nabal, but he screamed insults at them. Back in the KJV. But the men were very good unto us, and we were not hurt, neither missed we anything. As, like, they ain't robbers, they ain't sticklers up, they ain't do nothing, they ain't do nothing to us. It says, as long as we were conversant with them the whole time when we were in the fields, they were a wall unto us both by night and day. They actually looked out for us when we was around. You know what I'm saying? It says, all the while we were with them keeping sheep. And they could have just robbed us and took the sheep. Now therefore know and consider what thou will do. See that? Now this is a man, this is a situation she's in because her husband done got her in, because this is her husband. But mind you, kicked it off with saying Abgail was a good woman, a woman of good understanding. Nabal was evil and churlish, and he was churl and evilish in his doing. He was evil in his doing. All right, so now they bring it to her. This is for us to learn from. So now, therefore, consider what thou will do. Are you going to let your reverence for this man cause thee to fall? Are you going to have respect of persons? Are you going to make it about what's right? You see that? Because the main one you're supposed to be reverencing is Yahweh. Through acknowledging how he say you are to move and deal with things. And why things are to be treated, you know, the order, all that, right? But it says, for evil is determined. They went on and said, for evil is determined against our master and against all his household. For he is such a son of Belial that man cannot speak to him. See that? So the nigga is a demon. So essentially he's not of what she's actually of, what she's about. He's not of life. He's not of life. He doesn't pick life, he picks death. You know? He on some carnal shit when she know that's off. Then Abgail made haste, is the point, and took 200 loaves and 2 bottles of wine and 5 sheep ready dressed and 5 measures of parched corn and 100 clusters of raisins and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on the asses. It says, and she said unto her servants, go on before me. Right? Y'all be in front of me. I'll be in the back. Right? Behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. Exactly. See? So look how she stayed in order. She had good understanding. She ain't gonna cuss her husband out, nigga. She ain't gonna fucking cheat. She ain't gonna do no dumb shit like that. She didn't do this because it's David. You know? Nor did she, act like her husband ain't do something that's about to get everybody damn slaughtered. And then fuck it don't matter. You know? Because it will matter in this way because this nigga did something that's definitely gonna get them killed because it's against the Lord. It's against what's right. It's shit off. So this is why she's a woman of good understanding. She her reverence for her husband, which she clearly has, because she didn't go do nothing crazy, say nothing crazy to him, is clearly there, but it's not to the point where she allow it to make her fall. Because then how would she be truly a pillar that's supposed to help stuff stand up? You see that? Support. She wouldn't be. See that? And it was so, as she wrote on the ass, that she came down by the covert of the hill, and behold, David and his men came down against her, and she met them. Right? It says, now David had said, surely in vain have I kept all this that this fellow had in the wilderness, so that nothing was missed of all that pertained unto him. And he hath requited me evil for good. So and more also do God unto the enemies of David, if I leave of all that pertain unto him. Right? By the morning, light any. If I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning, light any that pisses against the wall. See that? So basically anything that's breathing, that's moving, that got damn legs, if it ain't dead, you know, I'm tripping, basically. You know? Because the Lord with me. That's why. Everything that's of this man's house, I don't give a damn what it is. If it piss against the wall, it could be a damn dog. It's gonna die. And that included her. You see that? Because it's evil. He ain't let his reverence for Nabal cause him to fall. He like, this nigga evil, all that shit evil. I don't want no parts of none of it. So she was gonna die. So this is how he's supposed to be. All right, he ain't. Oh shit, she pretty. I'm gonna keep her. That's that Akan spirit. You know, because Africa pretty much closed out now. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Because you can read the rest of this yourself, you know, and pretty much when she jumped down, I would jump to the 28th verse. I pray thee, forgive the trespass of thine handmaid, for the Lord will certainly make my Lord a sure house, because my Lord fighteth the battles, of the Lord, and evil, and have not been found in all. And evil have not been found. It's like this dang screen crack. It says, and evil have not been found in thee all thy days. See that? So she already knew, man. You can't dang. Man, she had good sense, man. You know, she understood it was the Lord that she would have been going against define, you know, by reverencing her husband, to where she would have failed. So yeah, like I said, you can read that on your own. You know, that's pretty much the point. Let me see if I got everything here. I'm gonna keep this going. Let's see. Yeah, so when you go back to that Matthew 16 and 19, and I will give unto thee the keys. My bad. I'm gonna start back at 22. But Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. Exactly, not making it about what the Lord wants. He like, I gotta go do this. This has to happen to me. All this is put upon me. All right. Peter like, no. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me. See that? So those that have good understanding don't allow reverence of anybody to cause them to fall. You know, they acknowledge, they follow, they would was because it's right, if it's right, because they're right. You know, we just get in line, we fall in line, we with it. But it's not gonna be because you do that. We gonna also do the crap that we see that's off that you do because of that reverence. Because at that point, it's not because it's according to the scriptures or ain't according to the scriptures. It's just because you ain't even making it about that. You reverencing this person. You see that? So it's the mindset you want to have. It's a scriptural based mindset. It says, "For thou savorest not the things that be of God." That's expedient, because all scriptures, you must is pull scriptures, pull scriptures, pull scriptures, use scriptures, use scriptures, use scriptures. But you got to use them rightly. You got to divide the word correctly. You got to use them seasonably, right? It got to actually be on point for that moment. You know, scriptures say, "Whatever thou givest out or receivest in, give all in writing and wait." Doctrines, talking about the scriptures. So when you're going to make a move, you're going to listen to something, you're going to adhere to something, you're not going to adhere to something. It's going to be because of your assessment through the scriptures, you know, through the counsel of the Lord, you know, through the wisdom of the aka the counsel that the Lord pushes forth, allows to come out or be received by his men that he teaches through, you know, by the prophets, the apostles, the prophets. All right, the things they broke down. Do you understand? You know, in order to hold to, but nonetheless. But thou savorest not the things that be of Yahweh, but those that be of men. Then said Yahawashi unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself. See that? And take up his cross and follow me. Who is he? What does he represent? He's symbolic for the word. You see that? So Yahawashi is telling you to deny you what you think, your own understanding. You see that? Looking at things carnal, you know, and follow instead him, because he's all about the scriptures. Follow the word. That's where Peter fell off at, because he started reverencing a man, not a man, because he wasn't a man. You get what I mean? You know, he allowed his reverence for Yahawashi in the wrong way to cause him to fall. You know, it's bigger than, man, bigger than this. It says, For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. All right? So, and I'm going to read this last verse. It says, For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul, or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So, yeah, you can follow Paul, you can follow Yahawashi, you can follow a damn celebrity, you know, for whatever righteous reason, if you would, right? Or reverence, right? But it shouldn't be to the point to where it's going to make you fall. Because, again, the scriptures tell you, when a rich man speaketh, people extol what he say to the clouds. You know? Why? Just because he has money. So they have a reverence there. This is Sirach 13 and 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. See? Meaning they put him on the level of the Most High, or as if that person is the Most High. As if it's of the scriptures, just because he got money. But that means you having reverence to the point, possibly, that's going to cause you to fall. Because if it ain't of the Most High, if it ain't according to the scriptures, you're going to fall. It's going to get you messed up. So I said, the blind, Yahawashi said, if the blind, lead them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. If the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into the ditch. So you can't be being blind to being like this. You know, you out here trying to talk to, because there's so many levels you can go into it. You trying to talk like you the apostles do what they do, and you ain't on that level, and then that'll cause you to fall. You know what I'm saying? This brother, you wise, very smart, but he went off right here. And usually, you are adhere to his teachings, and you know, because it keeps you on point and then you even continue with it upon that one day when you notice this, and you did that too. You gonna do that too? Was you to do that too? No. Were you to do that too? No. Or also no. All right, you keep it about what it's about. And do that mean you just go get out of line, get out of your body, just because it's off? No. You know, you don't. Well, I know this off. You can reverence yourself too dang highly, more than you ought, and then end up and that cause you to fall. You know, I gotta put me first. Scripture say, you know, is not one more faithful to the man in his own heart. Especially paraphrasing. You ain't supposed to be like that, man. Keep it about what's about. Keep the main thing the main thing. It says, but if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. Exactly. And these are wicked individuals. You see that? So motherfuckers be out here damn helping sinners, you know, doing all type of wicked ass shit, being nice to people the Lord hate because, oh, he needs it or she needs it or they need some money or they need a ride and they're a damn demon. I really respect when you tell me these certain things, so I'm gonna put you here. All because it's you, I'll do it this one time. Out of there. This is Sirach 12:1. When thou doest good, when thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it. See that? Abgail understood who that was and why he was who he was. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Exactly. See, David, he obviously didn't know Nabal was wicked, because if he did, he wouldn't have tried to do good to him. But he found out, and did he continue? No. Because it proves he was truly wicked, because it says, when thou wilt do good, to know to whom thou doest it. Right? This is a commandment. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. So the Lord is telling you to do this so you don't be looking stupid. Because if you try to give somebody, you try to give a pearl to a pig, they're going to trample it. You don't give something to an unappreciative person, you ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna look right over it, man. I give my heart to a damn demon. You know? My time to somebody that ain't about time. They don't give a damn about nothing. They don't know the world ended. They don't give a damn. So again, you reverencing people is like following. But if it's to the point to where it's gonna make you fall, you're gonna follow them into a ditch that they on their way into. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. That's why it's about the Most High. How about Yahawashi? All right. So yeah, that's it. Give to the godly man, right? There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. Give to the godly man and help not a sinner. You know? You reverence mankind. People they need, and they demons, they wicked. Fuck them. All right? If they ain't with the Most High, fuck them. It's that simple. They got a chance to hear this and they didn't want to adhere to this, man. Ain't no hearing them. The hell with Esau. Straight like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Again, Sirach 4:22, accept no person against thy soul. A celebrity, your damn mama, you know, your mama, I respect my mama so much. She, here, just eat it. Just pork. Here, just taste a little bit. I made it this for you. And let not the reverence of any man cause thee to fall. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, respect, admiration, honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be to the, it ain't supposed to go on. But my main point with this was, when you're watching or dealing with and learning from other believers, you don't want to reverence or honor them, to the point to where you're not only doing the good and adhering and being like-minded with all the good they do. You know what I'm saying? That's because it's according to scriptures. But you also do the bad with it. Then Yahawashi say, beware of the scribe, the living of the, do as they say, but not as they do. For they say and do not. Beware of the leaven of the scribes, Sadducees, and Pharisees. You see that? Because why? A little leaven the whole lump. You'll blemish your good deeds. You're going off. You following that which is right, but at this point it ain't even about that no more. You just caught up in the flesh. So that's it. Call on my Yahawashi. Till next time.